So what's up, guys, folks, dames y caballeros, welcome to another video. Oops, something fell from my bed. And yeah, like I said, it's slow news day today. I'm kind of having a week, 2 weeks off from work to that I intentionally took to yeah, to do some to make the house clean a bit and to prepare myself for the upcoming con that I will attend to promote Jaguar Warrior. But yeah, it's not really a lot of news today. But I'm feeling much better right now than I did till, let's say, last Friday, Saturday. Because yeah, someone close to me was in the hospital, and yeah, it's probably about to give up the ghost. So yeah. But during that time, I also made a video about Jenna Ortega. That yeah, let me say this: the idea was okay, but it was a terrible execution. So I take the L on that one. I don't want anything to say from, oh, this, no. It was a terrible executed video, but I'll take the L on that one. But like I said, I still stand by the fact that she still needs to get out of her bubble and to understand, yeah, a little bit better of what she's trying to represent. But that's my point, and I'll stick to that. I have no regrets for making that point either. But yeah, could have been handled better. That's it. But yeah, today, since it's slow news, since it's the slow news week, something got my attention, and that's Spain has tightened the sexual consent law in the country on Thursday. So on it's August 26th. So they approved it on August 25. Tightened its rape laws, pushing through legislation requiring explicit consent for sex in a move driven by its left-wing government, following notorious gang rape that outraged the country. For those of you who don't know it, let's see. This file photo taken on April 26, 2018. A person holds up a placard reading "Yes, it's rape" during the demonstration in Madrid to protest after 5 men accused a gang of raping a woman at Pamplona's bull running festival. That's a yearly event where people try to run away from a raging bull. And yeah, it often ends with either someone outruns a bull or someone gets pierced by the bull. So yeah, it's survival of the fittest in the streets of Pamplona. So yeah, I don't know why people would play this stupid game, but yeah, it's a tradition over there. So yeah, some things are better left unasked. But yeah, Spain on August 25, 2022, toughened its rape laws, pushing through legislation. And yeah, the guys were sentenced to 9 years in jail for sexual abuse, avoiding the more serious charge of rape. But yeah, they toughened the rape laws to feature this. As the only yes means yes law, the bill was given green light by Parliament with 205 votes in favour and 141 against after passing its first reading by lawmakers in May. It follows reform of Spain's criminal code that now defines rape as sex without clear consent. Let me put it like this: if you have sex with a woman against your will, etc., against her will, etc., without mutual consent, yeah, that's a no-go. No matter if you're left-leaning, right-leaning, whatever. Let's put it like this: conservative, whatever. You're a piece of shit. That's more or less the case. If that makes me an SJW, so be it. I don't give a shit. That's been my point long before you guys even started to know me on YouTube. So yeah, and overall, yeah. But yeah, let me say this: it looks good on paper, but I doubt it will yeah, solve other problems, because it comes over like a more of a reactionary thing to yeah, instead of looking from an objective point of view and see hey, yes, this happened, but this happened. It's terrible. It should never happen before, but yeah, instead of tackling the actual issue, you're only instead of tackling the issue, it will the result will the lawsuit should have been thought out a little bit better. But like I said, there's no we don't know the results from here to about weeks, months, years. But I have some problems with it. I come later to it. The consent is it involves a reform of Spain's criminal code that now defines rape as sex without clear consent. Consent is recognized only when a person has freely demonstrated through actions which, in the context of circumstance of the case, clearly express the person's will, it says. The laws of our country legally recognize that consent is what needs to be at the center of our relationships. That should be at every relationship, said Equality Minister Irene Montero. And there we go, Equality Minister. No one will ever have to prove that, and that's where my problem is, no one will ever have to prove that violence or intimidation was involved in order for it to be considered a sexual assault. Let me say this, there are some good things in the law, don't get me wrong, even when I don't fully agree with it. But this part right here, no one will ever have to prove that violence or intimidation was involved in order for it to be considered a sexual assault. What this basically means is that because I have a feeling the law has some looks good on paper, but there will always be a certain group of people that will kind of use this law, find the loopholes to basically either falsely accuse someone out of jealousy or because money's running dry. That will always happen. It has existed for basically years. But what it means is, if you're a male and you're falsely accused of sexual harassment or rape without clear consent, if you don't have it on a piece of paper, or it says that the consent has always been mutual, you're pretty much fucked. And that's a kind of a loophole, and especially with the rise to the Me Too movement that has been happening. Of course, Weinstein was a piece of shit, Kevin Spacey as well, but even Epstein. But this will. I'm not saying the law is entirely bad, but this right here is a loophole that a lot of people will, especially women who will either, like I said, will either have are jealous or want to get some extra money, or are way past their prime, are trying to use to get someone they don't like banned or cancelled. And for males, this what it costs for males is issue was at the heart of the notorious gang rape. 2016 gang rape of an 18-year-old woman by 5 men at the bull running festival in Pamplona. The men called assault a Wolfpack, and they're pieces of shit. Don't get me wrong. 2 men filmed the assault, during which the woman shown silent and passive, a fact the judge interpreted as consent. It often carried light penalties, but no longer exists in the reformed criminal code. It caused protests, of course. And the self-described feminist, great, vowed to introduce a law and consent aimed at removing ambiguity in rape case when it took office in 2018. The law also tightens rules on street harassment, expands emotional and sexual education in schools, strengthens protection and compensation for victims of sexual violence. So what basically going to happen is, if left unchecked, I'm not against sexual education in schools. I mean, I also wish you know where to put in your meatball, and to know what's happening when you're entering puberty at a certain age. It is what I'm afraid will happen, especially with let me put it like this: the first wave feminism. I don't have a problem with it. It was about getting equal rights for both sexes. The same with the second wave, kind of took away the pay gap between men and women. But the third wave is basically about, and that's why I have a problem with the part of that. But this part is is no one will ever have to prove that violence was involved in order to, but yeah, this part right here is where no woman will ever have to prove violence or intimidation was involved in order for it to be considered a sexual assault. This is why I have a problem with it. Because, yeah, Times New Roman street harassment is expensive because it will either be caused or used by some people to yeah, especially the radical fraction within certain movements, that that men are the problem, that men are basically all rapists, when that's not always the case. A little bit about that. Spain is considered pain. It requires explicit consent of both sex acts, but it's a long way to demand the feminist movement. Yeah, it's a long way to demand, but looks good on paper, but in practice, it's going to be a slip. You're basically walking on eggshells. Whoa, you're basically walking on eggshells on this, because there will be groups of women, etc. Some people who might be jealous or way past their prime, etc. Who are jealous of someone's success, that will use it to. That happens everywhere. Let's be honest. To basically, to antagonize men, and what will happen is, and that's another problem, that the law is quite reactionary, because instead of looking at it from an objective point of view, what do we need to do next, what can we do to avoid this, what is the actual cause behind this, and how can we solve other problems, you're basically only treating the certain symptoms. It doesn't make the problem go away. But yeah, what will happen is, what I'm thinking is especially thanks to things like third wave feminism, etc. If I have no regrets that I'm saying this, either the males will probably avoid most of the time avoid women, and some of them will probably go their own way, and some people who are false accused. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's entirely a bad law, but I'm afraid about execution. That will But yeah, like I said, we have to see it from weeks, months, maybe years. But yeah, it will also cause some more people, especially young men, to leave the country. And since Spain is also suffering from an extremely low birth rate, entire villages are pretty much empty or aging at an alarming rate, and there's not enough people to get in certain buildings. There are some ghost cities as well, from what I know, but I'm not sure. I don't live there, so don't take my word as someone who has lived there his entire life, because I haven't lived there my entire life. Yeah, it will probably result in either men avoid talking to women or being in a single square space with one, or they have to take a form with them that says that every time they have sex with one, that is consensual, to be sure, or to wear body cam. I don't know. I'm not psychic. Consent. With consent, or with a digital form on an iPad or something with a wingman. It will result in a woman getting more isolated and say, where have the good men gone? That's basically what happens. I don't know if Raging Golden Eagle will cover this. He probably will in one of his streams, but yeah, this is what happens. So there are good things in the law, but the execution is going to be terrible, and it's not going to help anybody. And yeah, like I said, this will only do the truth, and people will I'm saying the old boys network will come back, but men in Spain will be, and people who go over there for their holidays, especially when they're male, they will be more careful with who they're going to talk to, who they're going to sleep with. So because if without a form or without a digital file or an archive where they say it's done with consent from both sides, and when a woman has bad intentions, those women exist. They're not all like that. I'm sure of that. I'm not an incel in that regard, but if it happens, then you're as a straight male, you're pretty much fucked. And that's my only problem with it, politics aside. So I'm afraid Spain it looks good on paper, but the execution is going to be terrible, and it won't help the birth rates go up. That's for sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it will go right well. But with the problem is it has been more of a reactionary law than a law that's been or bill that has been introduced. With it's now basically based on listen and believe instead of and in that case, if you're falsely accused, you're pretty much guilty until proven innocent. And even then, after that, you will still be looked on as as someone who was done a terrible crime. I mean, Vic was also suffering from that for a moment, but he kind of got over it. He's moving to greener pastures right now, and that's a good thing. Instead of still proven guilty, so you're basically always walking on eggshells or on hot charcoal. That's pretty much all I have to say for this video. So like I said, if this makes me look like an SJW, so be it. I don't care. I've shown both sides of I've shown my objective point of view from both sides. I get why they're doing this, but it's a slippery slope that they need to figure out for themselves. But that's all I have to say for this video. My name is Spoorhacker. Spoorhacker out.